shogo, kwa sababu hawana interest na vijana wetu, hawana interest na future ya watoto wetu. Sisi tusiogopane kwa maslahi ya kwamba wewe wasaidika. Hii ni hatari kubwa, na itafika siku tutalia kilio cha mbwa hizi sheria zikipitishwa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Home of Politics. I appreciate so much for your support. Continue subscribing, viewing, and sharing these videos as many times as you can, and support it by subscribing every time and watch it to the fullest. Ladies and gentlemen, something that is driving Kenyans so mad about the court ruling nowadays is because they feel like the ruling of the court is doing it regardless of the feeling of the public or consultation of the public. This is because the previous day we saw the court ruling of a petition that had been brought to the court about the legalization or the making the LGBTQ society be part of Kenyan law. And this brought a lot of contradicting ideas starting from this year. We see there was a time when the court had paused the proceeding of this petition, but some few days ago this issue was solved and the court allowed the NGO society at least to register the LGBTQ group to be one of the non-governmental organizations, and they have been allowed, but the public is not pleased with what they decided. And we see this has brought a lot of problem with us, considering that the morals and the tradition or the culture of the African people does not permit such like a thing to happen, now that we are still holding into our culture despite us using the law in our daily operations. And we see Kenya have been benefiting so much from issues of support from Western countries, but the condition that was brought recently by the World Bank, that if you are being supported with the World Bank funds, then you should give them a favor of at least abolishing discriminalization, including the issue of allowing the LGBTQ to prevail in your nation. And that is where our government was trapped. Ladies and gentlemen, we see this thing has not been pleased to us anymore, and some of the parts of the nation have demonstrated, and leaders of the religious organizations in Kenya, they are calling upon everybody to say no to LGBTQ. And now we see the situation is not good, because we are hoping that the court will reconsider that issue of registering it into Kenya. That means it have been legalized. According to the reaction of the public, especially from Mombasa, it is evident that the court ruling was not fair and it did not please the public, because it is against our culture. And something that has made the people of Mombasa to demonstrate in a bitter way, it is because they have been receiving a lot of threats from the NGOs in form of letters They are accusing the people of Mombasa, these are the leaders of anti-LGBTQ, who are championing in the abolishing of that act. They are being threatened by the NGOs, saying that these leaders have the intentions of killing the members of this LGBTQ society. And according to how these people are demonstrating, they just want that our values and our culture to be preserved. They are calling upon all the people, whether Muslim, whether a Christian, to come and say no against this thing that the court has just emphasized on. Why do you think, apart from the government of Kenya and the court at large, knowing that the allowing of the or legalization of LGBTQ is not a good thing in Kenya, but they have just decided to have it to be registered under the NGOs? Why? The fact is that Kenya is just but one of the countries that is benefiting so much from foreign donation, and these free funds comes with conditions. Just as I had told you, the funds from the World Bank that is supporting Kenya so much right now, it has come with a condition that they should serve all the citizens without discrimination, and this includes the legalization of the LGBTQ society in Kenya. And apart from benefiting from these funds, Kenya as a government is very much afraid because it is welcoming these Western people to invest in our countries in the name of investors, but the tough conditions that is coming with their services is what is taking us back. And the fears that Kenyan government is having right now, it is the withdrawal of funds that they have been receiving from the World Bank. Of course, if you cannot agree with the person who is supporting you, then the fund can be terminated anytime. And for them, they are very afraid that they will lose a source of fund. We also see that they can stop the ongoing projects that had already been started in Kenya. That is very simple, because whenever the funds have been cut across, it means that the country will have to strain or to struggle to have another support from another direction, and this might end up spoiling or destroying the plans of the government. We also see that Kenya government have just done it because they want to secure the market abroad. This is because Kenya as a nation, we export so much commodities to the outside Kenya, more so in USA or the American states, because we see maybe a lot of products like from textile industries which are being locally manufactured in our nation are being exported to abroad. And we are afraid so much, maybe apart from exporting this product, if Kenya can lose the market, people who are employed in these textile industries might lose their jobs, because if you are producing the product and it is not having market or having demand, it means it will be useless and these people will lose their job. Apart from that, the government will lose a lot of money that they are benefiting from these exports. And for Kenya to secure their market abroad, they just have to give in. And this is the reason as to why they just did not want to oppose that act. We also see that Kenya or countries right now have political alignment. For example, maybe a certain country may be very, very close to a country that is superpower. This is just but to have a political backup or a political support from these countries that are so developed. And for Kenya, for instance, they are closely relating with USA, which is a superpower nation, and just in case of anything to happen in Kenya, USA will come in first to support us or to help us from that problem. And so due to the political alignment, we see Kenya has found itself in a trap of this implementing this act. And we also see that it is not Kenya alone that has have this problem of introducing a new law or going against the culture of Africa. If we can compare Kenya and Uganda, we see the leadership is very different, because in Uganda, they were also benefiting from the World Bank funds. But the president of Uganda, President Museveni, refused to legalize the LGBTQ Act, and instead he criminalized it, and he decided to impose a death sentence to any person who will be found in those acts of having or going against the culture of Ugandans. And this made the World Bank fund, the World Bank fund to be cut, to be stopped. No any supply of fund or donation from these people who were supporting Uganda, and it also stopped all the ongoing projects. Now that we can see the consequences that Uganda have suffered from their decision of preserving culture, it has made them to lose even market abroad. For instance, Uganda also were producing a lot of locally made clothes and fabrics from their textile industry, and they were exporting it to USA. But right now, their market have been blocked and they cannot sell the textile product to USA. This is just but a consequence. But they could not have been forced to accept what they did not want. They always found another alternative. And we see right now they decided to have that loss of not being supported, but they decided to look for another way. Right now we see they have signed several treaties with China, and China is running the textile industry in Uganda. Right now so many youths have been employed, but they are safe from this LGBTQ laws which is threatening the societies right now in Africa. If you can compare the ruling of Uganda and Kenya, we see Kenya, at least people have just decided to bend low, and this government have just reacted against the public wish. And for Uganda, they have just decided to put their standard very high to preserve their moral. And right now, apart from stopping the funds from USA, they still have another way to find funds from other countries. But considering the situation of Kenya, I don't know why these people decided just to implement that act to be registered under the NGOs. My good people, at least we should bring, or we should prioritize the future, because if this LGBTQ act will be available everywhere, it means that coming generation will not be like this one that we are having. It will affect us so much now that we know it has a lot of adverse issues. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a high time that we people of Kenya stand with the leaders from Mombasa to end this issue of the act that has been brought by the Western nation that is undermining our cultures. I don't know what you think about this act that have been legalized in Kenya, but sincerely speaking, a lot of people are against it, and you can send me your ideas in the comment section. How can we stop it, and how should this be approached? Because in other countries like Uganda, it is a very big criminal offense. It can be amounted to death as a sentence, just in case you are found in this society. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.